Hey there everybody, moving onwards with the H-block assembly. There's this one and then there's going to be one more, so I'm just putting on the walls on here and finishing off these corners. Then the next one will be dealing with putting in these bits, because I'll show you how to bevel and fit the corners properly so that when you have these funny diagonals. Because of my mess up with measurements, I've had to custom fit pieces for this. They don't have to be perfect, although that's the wrong piece. I hope it's the wrong piece. No, that's the right piece. I'm just going to the wrong area. So where I've messed this up is two counts. One, I'm having to do these corners wrong length. Two, this wasn't up to the point it's meant to be up to, so I'm having to put slightly bigger walls on the outside edges. In the case of this, I am making this flush with this wall here, so I want it flush because I'm going to run this corner piece in. Instead of applying glue, I'm applying it directly to the building along these edges. I'm just trying to keep these quick now so you can see the process, and you don't really have to see me doing it, you know what I mean. It takes a lot of time. I can understand not wanting to, well, I just want to see the end results of the process. So part of this is, in order to get sort of nice finishes, you have to start sanding stuff back. And I'm trying to get this flush as well as this flush. I did separate these a bit because I'm going to try and make it so that these actually glue to the piece that I'm fitting. So then I've got this corner piece, right? Again, it's pre-cut, so it is approximately the right size. And so I'm just gluing these in, and then I'm sanding stuff back so that it all fits. So again, I'm just running into the building rather than onto the piece I'm holding. It's just because it's a small piece. Anytime you've got a small piece of material in your hands, unless it's really awkward to get to where you put in the glue, and it's often best to put the glue onto the material that you're sticking to. I'm trying to get, there's two surfaces, and I'm trying to get glue onto both surfaces, because what I want, because I'm going to sand this back, is a really solid bond. So I'm using quite a lot of glue. The other reason for that is I want to dissolve as much of the material as possible. So then I just chuck this piece down. I'm more concerned with the top edge being flush than the bottom, because if there's the odd crevice or what have you, again, I'm not mega fussed. No buildings are perfect, even ones if you buy them like pre-painted, pre-manufactured. Apologies if I start getting blood everywhere. I cut myself a bit earlier, which is done. Slightly loose snap, how frustrating. The other thing I'm trying to look out for as I'm coming to the end is just noticing these extra little bits of loose stuff, and just trying to keep everything as lined up as possible. Don't want to have to fuff about too much, otherwise you end up having to do this. So once it's fitted, I'm using a knife just to cut away the excess, the worst of it, and like sometimes I've just been cutting into the material. I've kind of made a bit of a boss job of this, but as ever, not too fussed. Before I move on any more, I just got to let the glue dry, so I'll catch you in a minute. So you can see what I've been doing with the knife. Glue on the other side, it's not quite dry. Well, it is dry, just not set as much as I'd like it to be. But this is what I've been doing, just getting the knife, trying to run it, can't really see if I do that, running it flush to the material. I'm just trying to see where I'm cutting into the material by accident. That is called an error. I'm just trying to take back all of this. So if you have excess, just cut it away. And this is just before hitting up the sanding process. So in sanding, I'm using a heavy grade rough paper and a very fine smooth paper. And remarkably, this material is actually strong enough so that you can kind of push down on it. It's better if you hold it up when you're sanding it. So if you are sanding, it's like support the struck bit that you're sanding with your fingers. Hold it, if anything, sort of push up with your fingers into it, so you're trying to suspend this so you're not pushing down on it. But yeah, you can put a bit of force through it. This is a finished one, and they're all finished now. I'm recording this afterwards because I realised that I'd not recorded something and then I'd recorded nothing for 20 minutes. It was joyous. But I'll just show you the last bits in a second. Finally then, it's just marking on, taking this etch and carrying it around. Again, I'm just using an allspike for this. It does leave a narrower line than the original line. I'm just taking that. I know I said before I'm not really marking stuff up. What I mean is, for instance, I know this is a 4mm. I'm just using allspike, stabbing, making a mark, joining the dots. Whoa, not like that though. This looks more like 5mm on this one. Yeah, there has been a bit of variation. Again, pretty inevitable. You might notice that there's some scratch marks and what have you, but again, I'm not too fussed about that. It'll give a bit of character to the building. I must say I've been finding that the sort of little bits of etching they make a big difference towards making the building look sort of finished. I think in the future I would consider coming up with much simpler construction plans and maybe have more complex etching on them. Yeah, and just making that a bit more of a dent because I slightly misaligned them. So yeah, it just means you end up with a sort of a line running around a little bit down from the top edge. There it is, there's the finished stuff. So I hope it's been of some use to you everybody. Enjoy your modelling, have a good and take care. Catch you next time. Bye bye.